I'm so excited for this. So excited for this Zoom. She just filled our cups for the last 15 minutes and gave us some really, really good tips, you guys. So continue to work so hard to try and get on those VIP Zooms because I'm telling you, it is straight fire when you get your cup filled for just 15 minutes of just pure pump up. And it was just so great. So thank you so much for that, Amanda. I'm so excited to introduce her, you guys. This is Amanda Buescher.
Yeah,
Do I
but
say it right?
sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
Buescher. I just want to make sure. I hate to butcher names, so I just want to make sure. But I'm so excited for you guys to hear from her. Amanda, why don't you introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and your story. I want to hear all about your story.
Of course. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on your Zoom tonight. I'm so excited. So I'm Amanda, and I have been in this business for 6 years. I started this business working full-time as a dental hygienist, and I absolutely loved what I did. And I was actually one of those, before I had kids, I was that mom who was like, I am going to work. I'm going to be a dental hygienist. I love what I do. And I'm also going to be a mom. Like, I was just going to do it all. And I felt like I totally could. And I probably could, but as soon as I had our first son, Jax, I literally got put a different, feeling in my heart. And I did not want to leave that little guy. And I struggled so much. I actually cried like all the time. I prayed like for something to happen for 2 years so I wouldn't have to work as much. But I had $100,000 of student loans, $120,000 of student loans. And so I was literally working to pay off the debt that we had. And so there really wasn't any answer for me not to work. And so I just felt like I was settling. I felt like I was meant to be a stay-at-home mom, but I also wanted to provide an income for our family. I didn't want just to put all that stress on my husband. But in this time when I was working and I felt, my heart just desired to be a stay-at-home mom. Like in that time I was going through stages where I was almost resenting my husband and being like, why doesn't he make more money? Like, why doesn't he close more deals? Because he did commercial real estate. And so it was just for 2 years, just praying for something to come along. And while being a hygienist, some of my patients would be like, oh, they would do like some of the other networking companies. I'd be like, no, that's just not my thing. And then, not even giving it even a chance. Just thinking I'm not a salesperson. I don't know how I could even do that. I'm a little bit more on the shyer side. It's just not, I went to school for dental hygiene. Like that's something like I'm too good for that kind of thing. Thinking that it just wasn't for me. And then my friend, I use the products from It Works. I use the greens and the body wraps. And my friend came over one day and she's like, I just got into this business and I made like $500. I'm like, wait, what? And so I always like wanted to do like things on the side. I did like couponing. I had a spray tanning business. And so I always wanted to do other things that would save us money or make extra money on the side. And so I'm like, man, $500, that would be like 2 days less that I would have, that I, could like not work doing dental hygiene. And so I was like, okay, sign me up. And I had to sign up on a credit card because we didn't have that extra money. We literally were living paycheck to by paycheck, and anything extra was going on credit cards because we were just that much struggling and had that much debt. And so we were just like playing, that Russian roulette with like our credit cards, which one is going to work. And so anyways, I signed up. My friend quit the business, but I saw a vision. So the very first, I would say probably 2 weeks that I got into this business, I literally just wanted $200, extra a month. And I went to my first event and there was like 15 people there, but there was another dental hygienist there. And I remember she was making, I think she was a double diamond at the time, making like $6,000 a month. And I was like, oh my gosh, like she is a dental hygienist just like me. She's making $6,000, a month. I was like, why? I can do this too. And if I made $6,000 a month, that could bring me home to Jax. And so I just figured exactly what I needed to do. So my upline quit, you guys. And YouTube was my upline. So I've never been given a customer, a distributor. Nobody has ever been like, hey, jump on our team Zoom and led and guide me. Like YouTube I figured out who the top leaders were, and YouTube was my upline. And so I just figured out what I needed to do. And so I went double in about 5 months. I went diamond in 3 months, double in 5 months. And I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know after I went double, you guys, that you had to maintain by a certain volume. I was just like, oh, I'm double, like, cool, like, what do I do now? You know, and I had no idea anything. It was literally ignorance on fire. And so I didn't know how to lead. I didn't know anything. And so I just continued to go, and I just continued to watch and learn, and I made mistakes, and I lost rank, and, you know, just all this stuff has happened, but I always made a goal to make a certain amount of money because I did not want to go back to work. So after I went double diamond, I got pregnant, and I went down 1 day a week. So I was only working 1 day a week. And then after we had our second son, Crew, I stayed home. So I've now been retired for about 5.5 years. And this business has been such a blessing. So I went triple, and I got stuck at triple. And I love telling this story because I was always a very hard worker. Got customers, distributors every month, always a high end roller. But I was stuck. I got to triple by being a really, really hard worker, always getting customers, always getting distributors, pouring into my team, that kind of thing. That never changed. But I was stuck at triple for 2 years. I lost rank at triple. I was just stuck. And the thing that changed that, you guys, was literally me deciding that, you know what, I can't work much harder than I already do. I already get so many customers and distributors. And so why am I not progressing? Why am I not going to presidential? Why am I not going to ambassador? And it was a simple shift of me. Before, I didn't believe that I could go presidential or ambassador. I would always look at those, you know, those women, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. They're like unicorn to me. You know, they're incredible. Like, that's good for them, but I don't think that's not me. You know, it was always like too far fetched. And until like after that 2-year mark, and I'm like, okay, I'm sick and tired of being just triple. Like, I can see my team is hungry. Like, I'm hungry for more. It was just that simple shift of mindset. And I started believing that I could. I started manifesting that I could. I started journaling about that I could. I started waking up like a 6-figure income earner would wake up. I started waking up like a millionaire would wake up. At 5 a.m., I started doing the things that it took to be an ambassador diamond. I started doing the things that it needed to take to pour my mindset into being an ambassador diamond. And when I started doing that, I always say I was paid as a double, and 14 months later, I went ambassador, just by that simple switch of my mindset. My work ethic, the way I worked, never changed once. The thing that changed was my mindset, pouring into myself, growing my mind, growing my faith, growing my belief in myself. And that's what changed everything for my business.
Oh my gosh, so good. And my team knows, like, I just pour into them that self-development is literally the missing link. Like, it's always the missing link. If you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing and you're not getting where you want to go, it's growth. You guys, that's always the answer. It's, what am I supposed to be learning right now? Who do I need to become to get to this level? Who do I need to become? Because I can continue working and I can continue doing the same things that you're going to be doing. You're going to continue to do the work. But if you continue to pour into yourself and into your mind, I think that that is where, like, the levels just start going crazy, right? So Amanda, I know this is kind of a silly question because this is always people think there's like a secret sauce, right? So this is always the question, but after your morning routine, because I know you get up an hour early, you do the miracle morning. You talked about this yesterday on the training. I was like eating it up. I loved it because we had a conversation earlier this month about her miracle morning routine. I started reading the book again. I finished it just a couple days ago, and I have been getting up here in Oregon at 6 a.m., you guys, like every single day, and doing my devotional, and it has changed everything. My enrollments are up, even everything that I've gone through this month, because we've had a really rough month personally. Everything is still going so great because I'm starting my mornings like that and I'm taking control of my day. So thank you so much for that tip, Amanda. But after that miracle morning, what does your day look like? Like, what do you have a certain schedule? Do you work till a certain time? Do you get all your host to post up in a certain time frame, or like before, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does your day-to-day look like for building your business?
Yeah. So, to be honest, I always tell myself I'm like a messy organizer. Like I don't really have like I'm not the most organized person, but I am very intentional when it comes to my work. And so I do make sure I do my miracle morning, and that's something that never changes, even if we are out of town or, wherever we're at or whatever our day is like, that will be a consistent thing every single day. Because it is so powerful in your business, you being, with a wife, a mom, a friend, a leader, all that kind of stuff. But after that, I don't have like a certain work schedule. I would say it really just depends. I work when it fits into our life. And so the thing is that I have systems put into place. So when I work isn't a consistent thing, but my systems that I have is. And so we on our team, we call it the core four and the one more. And so there's 5 things that we do every single day. There's 4 of those things that are on social media that we do. That one more is self-development. So self-development is going to in our house all day long. My husband is listening to it. I'm listening to it. We have it when I'm getting ready in the shower. Like it's just on our, in our house all day long. And so that's just all around. So there's not certain times where I do that. But the 4 core, that just gets done during the day. So honestly, it just depends on what our day is like. And so what I do like the night before is if we have certain things like appointments or play dates or whatever it is, then I just plan my work in between there. I just make sure that those 4 things are done every single day. And the one thing that I do like to do, and I am very consistent with this, is the host to post. And I can tell you guys my 4 things that I do. I'm sure you guys already do them. It's just, it's what most people do. But the host to post is something that I love to do. I like to do this system. So I try to get all of my host to post done and out by like 12 or 1. So the later morning or early afternoon, that way that they're done, they're out of the way. And so what I like to do is I will message before I go to bed. I just send, a message out to people just saying, hey, hope you're doing well. Would you mind sharing a post for me? So I send a message out before I go to bed. And then when I wake and I don't answer them back, I go to bed. And then when I wake up, I already have people who are saying yes, that they'll post for me. So I'm already starting my day off with host to post. So I'm already getting, my 10 people who are posting for me on early on in the day. And so that way then, I have all day to answer them back, message people, and then do the rest of my core 4. But I will say like there's not a set time. I will just say that whatever our day is like, I will figure out when I can be intentional with my work. So that means that there's going to be a time where I sit down, an hour, or maybe I had 30 minutes or 10 minutes, and I make sure that I sit down and I do my work. And I just make sure those 4 things are done every single day. Okay. So that means that every single day I'm posting, and I like to post. I know everyone's so different, but I make sure that I post the amount that I like to post. So I post at least 3 times a day. And I just figure out when I can post them. Okay. The second thing is growing your network. Growing your network is going to be so important with building your business. So at some point during my day, I just make sure I'm growing my network, whether it's on our way to the grocery store, standing in line at the grocery store, whether it's my kids are watching a movie, I will make sure that I'm getting my work done when I'm not with my kiddos. And then, so growing your network, building relationships is really important. So building relationships with people, that's number 3. And then the 4th one is just messaging people. So getting host to post out, follow-ups, just messaging people about the business, that kind of thing. So those are the 4 things that I coach on my team. And it just makes it really simple when you have a system put into place that you can work this business at any time. So whether you're on vacation, whether you are working full time, or you have 5 kids, like you can literally work this business at any time as long as you're intentional with your time. So we can pick and choose. Like I can say all day long, like I didn't have time to do this, I didn't have time to do that. But that is just an excuse. I'm choosing not to do it. I'm choosing to, do other things instead of making sure I'm working my business. And so I make sure that I'm very disciplined and very intentional with my time that I do have so that I get done. And sometimes, like I love watching shows, you guys. Like, I don't know if you guys like watching shows, but we love watching movies. We love watching shows, but I don't do it until like my work is done. I make sure that I get my work done. And otherwise, if I don't, then we're watching a show and I'm working, so you just have to decide when it works good for you, and just making sure you're really intentional with your time.
I love that so much. Brian and I actually made a goal because we love our shows too. Like that is something that we like to do together. That's like our time. And so we actually made a goal like 4 years ago when I first started the business, even where if we're watching a show, I am like following you guys because it's mindless. It's mindless. So I don't really need to pay attention. I mean, obviously you're looking for people who, you have things in common with, you guys know how to grow your network, but it's mindless. I can just sit there and grow my network and, send out some messages while there's like commercial or whatever, if there is, you know what I'm saying? Like make sure that you're still being productive. But another tip is that needs to be a reward. The things that you love to do that are not making you money or not getting you to where you're to your goals and where you want to be, make it a reward. Because when I did that, I actually found myself being like, no, I can't. I've got to send out 10 more messages. I've got to get up 3 more hosts to post. Like I've got to do this. And then you feel so much more better about yourself when you're able to reward yourself with the, if you will, like guilty pleasures, you know what I mean? Because you're not being productive. So the other thing is, the one thing that stood out to me when you were saying this is I love that you fit it into your daily life. Because I think so many of us, a lot of times I thought like going from rank to rank to rank, and as you like develop more skills and more things and you're home full time, a lot of the times I think we can't be successful unless we have like this set schedule. Like unless, okay, I need to like take control of my life and I need to have this schedule. And that's true to a certain point. However, like taking control of your morning is very important and making sure that it sets the pace for the rest of your day. But the whole point of this business, you guys, is that you can work it around you. And I think that's so important. And I love that you shared that with us because, she takes an hour here and an hour there, but you guys don't miss what she said. She's intentional with that time. She's not scrolling. She's not talking to her team right that second. She's working on her own business to make sure that her own business is getting done. That's kind of how I do things too. You guys, there's times where I will have to like ignore any messages coming through, or I won't get my host to post up for the day. So I know that there are a lot of leaders on here that we've been talking lately about like, my team is on fire and my team is growing, and I have another question for you, Amanda, it's coming right after this. My team is growing and like, I'm spending so much time training them and teaching them. How do I find that balance to work my own business? And this is a real problem, you guys, because you have to be you have to be able to compartmentalize and say they can wait an hour while I only work on my business. And sometimes that's really hard because there's times where we're like, they needed help with a loyal customer's order or something. And I was getting up my host to post, right? But that hour that goes by, that customer will still order and it will still be okay. We can't constantly be, shifting over to like do all of that because we're not going to get anything done for our business. And then that just makes us feel like we're on our phones and we're working 24/7, but we are not producing in our own business, right? So your business does come first. And that was my question for you is how do you train your team, but also make sure that you're, keeping up on your own business. So you take an hour or two, whatever, to do your own business, but do you have like a certain time amount that you spend with your team? Do you have like a daily post that you do in your team page, or like, how do you train your teammates?
Yeah. So, and just to even back up, with this work, like when you have a system put into place, it allows you to get your work done quicker. And so that you really can have it all. You can be a mom playing with your kids. You can have time to yourself. You can, go and enjoy life. And so having a system put into place is so important. And so Rochelle, like definitely like having a system put into how to lead and how to make sure you're getting your own work done. So we do, and I think it was Pam Souter who I heard this from a long time ago. So this is what we implement. This is what I implement is we break it up into threes. So a third of your time. So if you have, you determine how much time you have every single day to work your business, it needs to be broken up into threes. So a third of your time that you have needs to be with self-development. a third of your time, that's huge, going into your mindset, into your growth, into your education, into learning, into, you know, growing your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit. That needs to be a third of your time. Then a third of your time needs to be directly your business, you getting that core 4 things done, you know, the 4 income producing tasks, you doing those things every single day. That's a third of your time. And then a third of your time is split in between your newbies. It's split into your emerging leaders and your leaders. So we create, so it can be tricky. So sometimes we'll have people who are just leading their team, but they're not getting their work done. And so you're going to get stuck. Or sometimes people are doing all their work, but then they're not leading their team, you know? So it has to be a really good division, you know, of doing each thing. But what we do, we just kind of have some systems put into place. And I am really, really big on just layered leadership. And so as your team gets bigger and bigger, it gets harder and harder to be, you know, one-on-one with everyone. And so I really incorporate layered leadership as soon as day one, as soon as a new person comes in. But what I do every morning, that's where I get myself taken care of, is in my morning routine. And then during my day, I just make sure I get my team done. When I sit down to get my host to post out, if a team member messages me, I do not even message them back. Also, if somebody messages me after like 10 o'clock, I won't message them back. I will wait until the next morning, because I don't want my team thinking that I can get to them as soon as possible. I let people try to figure it out on their own. You know, try to go find that photo, try to go get your answer. And so if I answer them right back, they're always going to rely on me to give them the answer. And so, my newbies, I absolutely will message them back as soon as possible. But I just set certain guidelines for myself. And because I did feel several times in my business throughout these 6 years, there were times where I felt like I was on my phone 24/7. There was times where I felt that I was just answering and doing everything for everyone. And so I got burnt out very, very quickly. And so I had to incorporate these things for myself. So it's a rule. My team knows I won't answer them back after 10 o'clock. They know if they send me a message, it's going to be in the morning. They know if they send me a message at 6 o'clock, I'm not going to answer them back, because that's my morning routine. You know, they know certain things. And so if they don't, they'll you know, quickly figure it out. But what I like to do to help create that layered leadership is as soon as I have a new person join, I will, within probably about their first 72 hours, 24 to 72 hours, depending on how well they're doing. If they're catching on, it's going to be their first day. I introduce them to the person that I gifted them to. And so immediately it creates that, you know, that layered leadership. And so that's a big thing on our team, is that layered leadership. There's one day, we have certain days where our team, so I can pour into certain people. Every Saturday, that's when I pour into my newbies. We do a newbie training. If they're my personally enrolled newbies, I work with them one-on-one. But for our overall team, every Saturday, I do a newbie training for 30 minutes. Every Monday, I do a power hour. And that's just our whole team. So that allows me to work with my emerging leaders. That allows me to work with certain people. But we have chats, and we have, you know, every diamond, every leader has their own chat. And so I'm in there, you know, chatting with people. But I absolutely, you know, make sure I just get my own work done. And then that way it frees up time where I can get on one-on-ones with people, or I can, you know, do certain things with people.
I love that. My next question was actually how you train your new distributors. So I think you pretty much just answered that. You basically work one-on-one with your new distributors. Do you have like a set daily training plan that you do with them, or do you just like help with screenshots back and forth, you know, have resources in your team page, things like that, but you're personally connecting with them every day, correct?
Yeah. So we do like a 10 step process. That's kind of what we do with our team. And I put all of the 10 steps in our unit section. That way that it's duplicatable. You know, I want my newbies to come in when they have a new person jump on, that they can just go to that unit section and they have everything that I do with my newbies. And so I do. I just have it, and I have all of my 10 steps in my word board. So it makes it so easy. So word board is a way that I can get things out very quickly. I don't know if you guys use that or not, but it's amazing. And so we do have a 10 step thing, and sometimes people will take 10 days to do it. Sometimes people will take 3 days to do it. So I really go at somebody's speed. But yeah, I work one-on-one with them, and I always ask them we have them do the colored personality, so I know how to work with them. I know how to handle them, that kind of thing. But yeah, and then I also put them in a chat right away with their we call them co-leaders. So that's somebody else who I gifted them to, and they're there to help alongside with me. So a lot of times, it is so nice that, they will use, instead of just coming to me directly, they'll ask a question in that group chat that I just created. And so a lot of times it's somebody else like answering them. So I'm not constantly, answering all their questions. They're getting, answers from other sources, which takes a lot off of me. But again, I am working still with them one-on-one, but it's amazing what that does for layered leadership. It's amazing what that does for connection with that new person. And it's amazing what it does for that person that you just placed them under, and how it helps them grow as a leader. So there's just so many amazing things that, come in place with all of that. But we have systems put into our team. So we have power hours that we incorporate, and I have my leaders all get involved with that. So it's not just me doing it, so Rochelle, like certain leaders on your team, I don't know if you guys do stuff like that. You probably do, but having other people lead a power hour, having other people, hop on and lead, your trainings, that kind of thing. So it's creating that layered leadership. So if I was to take time off, or if something happened, if I got sick, like I know my team is still handled, so we do just work really close with the newbies, and we have the systems put into place.
It's so important to layered leadership, you guys, like so important. And honestly, the quicker that you can learn it to implement it, the better. Because I am somebody who, you guys know this, I am redder than red. I am very controlling, right? Not meaning to be controlling, but I like to be in control of things and make sure that everybody is taken care of. And so like, I love what you said about when you put your phone down at 10 p.m., like your team knows that they're not going to get an answer from you until the morning. And that was something that I didn't learn for literally almost 3 years in, you guys. It was like, I was always on, and I mean like always on. And if I wasn't on, I felt guilty or upset, or, I just put so much on myself. When I actually had Huntley, I started realizing, oh my gosh, I can't do this all on my own. I can't be the only one that's going to control. And, I had to let go of that control. Sorry, Huntley's literally right here taking a bath. So if you guys can hear her screaming, she can hear me, so she's frustrated. But anyways, so I really had to learn that layered leadership, and that the co-leader chats was something that I personally implemented in the beginning of this year. And what it's really helped with is now the new distributors and my co-leaders, if you will, are now understanding that they're going to be answered a lot quicker when they go to that chat than if they were to like personally text me or message me, because I'm going to give that leader a chance to respond, and then I can come in and correct it if it needs to happen that way. And it just really helps people to understand how to be a leader, whether they're a ruby, an emerald, or a double diamond. They're now understanding what they need to be doing when signing a distributor. Because a lot of the times when we're gifting the distributors, maybe it's because, they haven't signed a distributor yet themselves, but they're just killing it and they deserve it. And they're like, the main reason why they don't sign that distributor in the first place, maybe because they don't feel qualified to train them, right? That was me. I was so terrified to like sign people because I didn't even know what I was doing. So how could I bring on new people? So this is a great way for you to really encourage your new distributors to bring in those new distributors as well, because you can put them in a group chat with yourself and them and be able to train them both but you're training them in different ways. You're training one to become a leader, and you're training the other. Excuse me. Sorry, I have heartburn so bad right now. Goodness. You guys know what I'm trying to say. So anyways, we have about 10, 15 minutes left, right? So I just kind of want your best end of month tips, but I want them volume boosting. Like we're ready, we're fired up, we're like mindsets are there, everybody is charging, and we're just killing it right now. But I think we need a little bit of like volume specific, how you bring in the masses. Because one thing that I loved that you did, I think when you were going ambassador, you'll have to correct me, is the thermometer that you made. And like, I want you to kind of talk about that, because I might want to do that.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you guys see all the thermometers like popping up and all that kind of stuff. It was actually my husband who created that. And we were going ambassador, and we went ambassador last March. And at the end of the month on the 25th, I was about 46,000 away from ambassador. And I was like, my numbers were totally off. I thought I was gonna be like 10,000 off. And I was 46,000 off for getting ambassador. I'm like, this is like, my mindset automatically went like, there's just no way. But my husband came home with this thermometer, and I can show it to you guys. You guys have probably seen it, but literally just kind of split up like how many days. So one thing I would suggest is how much volume do you need? Know that right now, and then divide that between the 4 days that you have. So if you need 2,000 volume to get to your goal, divide that, so that's 500 volume that you need each day. Okay, so we did this thermometer, and we brought in, because of everything that we did, and I can share with you guys what we did, but I really think it was just God like really leading the way. But we brought in, I think it was like like at the end of the month, it was like close to 60,000 in like 4 days, but it was so crazy. But so anyways, we just had we just made the decision. Okay, so we made the decision that we're just doing this. And I would pray every single day, like, Lord, if I'm not time to go, if it's not ready for me to go ambassador yet, like, okay, but I'm going to keep working my butt off and staying up late, waking up early, just doing everything I need to do. And you just lead and guide us. Like, you just, you tell us if this is not going to happen. And so I knew it was going to happen because volume was just pouring in. And it wasn't just pouring in just by luck. It was pouring in because we were working hard at it. And because it was, I would say, it's God's BB that he gave us. But some of the things that we would do is, or that I recommend like at end of the month is, first of all, you need to know how much you have. And then you need to know who are your key players. Like, where do you need them at? Okay, so there's lots of things you guys can do to bring volume in. So one, things are in a numbers game, right? This business is a numbers game. So if you want to get more volume in, you want to get more customers in, then that means that you have to talk to more people. You have to post more. You have to go live, so I would recommend in your stories, like, Rochelle goes live in her stories, every day about her coffee. And so, I would say go live, talk about the products, talk about, go in your stories, and that is all going to bring volume in. The more you do, the more you're going to get. I would message everybody. So anyone who like viewed your stories, anyone who have who are commenting or liking on your post, those are potentials for you now. Okay, go back to every single person that you've ever talked to about the business or about the products and tell them, I'm going for a huge promotion. I know that we talked about these products, before, is there any way that you would want to help me out and get on the products? I would love to help you. You're going to love them. That's an amazing way. Ask people, just tell them like, I'm going for a huge promotion. Is there any way that I can, that you could help me out this month? People love to help you guys. So just asking people is a huge thing. I would also go to every single, and I can share with you guys my verbiage, but I would go to every single person and that was a current customer. So in my Connect app, and I can't remember the exact verbiage, but I can send it to you, Rochelle. But it was pretty much like, if you guys, here, let me just pull it up. It would just be easier. But pretty much like, let me see here. Just so I don't, so I call it my Starbucks message, but pretty much just wanted to like, hey there, just wanted to see if we can help each other out. I'm going for a huge promotion this month, and I'm sending little Starbucks gift cards to all of my amazing customers if you place a separate order for this month. And so it's pretty much, I'm asking them to place a separate order to help me out. I'm going for a huge promotion, and in return, I'll send you a little Starbucks gift card. And I had so many people that literally even just ordered like a couple days ago were placing another order. And so I had just volume coming in that way. And so that was huge. And then I got these little Starbucks gift cards, and for $5, and I sent them, I think I sent like 60 of them. I think I got like 60 people, 60 customers just to even place, you know, if you got 60 people, even to get a 30 BB order, that's a lot of volume coming in, you know? And so a $5 gift card, like, you know, totally worth it. So just asking you guys, asking, you know, asking you will receive, you know, so just ask those people. The other thing that you can do is go to anybody in your organization. So say you have several distributors underneath you who are not working. You can go to them and be like, okay, girl, you are, you know, 100 BB away from getting, you know, a paycheck this month. Or do you want to get on a couple of products? I'm going for a big promotion. It would really help me out. You know, I would love to help you get on the products. Or even be like, hey girl, I know you're not working the business right now, but you know, would you want to switch over to being a customer? You know, the products are amazing, and you know, you can get a discount pricing. So asking all of your distributors, like, hey, you know, I know you don't want to work the business, but would you be interested in being a customer? We had a lot of people switch over to being a customer. And then just doing like volume boosting contests. So getting your team, one thing that we did, gosh, I think it was when I went triple 2.0, I think I went 2 months ago. What we did was, I don't know if you've done this, Rochelle, but it's so fun. And my team literally asked for us to do it every single month. So I got this bag. First of all, I had all of my diamonds and above pitch in $10 or whatever amount that they want to pitch in. I think we got like a pot, and it was like $200. And then I put together a really cute bag. And you guys can do this no matter what your team is. So if Rochelle, if you guys wanted to bring a big one in for your entire team, we got a bag just full of goodies, and we went live. And I had myself and a couple other leaders, and we did, okay, you guys, we all gave tips. And as we were giving tips, we said every 15 orders that we get in this time, we're gonna do this we did it for like an hour and a half. We gave tips, and every 15 orders that got in, we would do a drawing for whoever placed the order for like $50. We did 4 different prizes. So every 15 drawings, so we brought in, I think like 4,000 volume in like, I don't know, 90 minutes or something like that. You know, so those things like right there. So, you know, doing little contests with your team. And because the reason I love that is because one, people are getting tips. Okay. So you're all on a Zoom, you're getting tips. The other thing I love about that is you're having people get products so they can be a product of the product. You know, it's important for that. And so I always encourage after the 25th of the month to do little BB contests. Like, hey guys, the next person to get in, you know, a 30 BB order, whether it's a customer or a one-time order, you're going to be put into a drawing for this. You know, a gift card or a bag or a product or It Works shirt, you know, something like that. And that always brings in some volume. So I think like the biggest thing is just making sure that you're so intentional with your time. You're waking up with intention to get the work done. Host a post, you guys. If you do 10 a day, and you're doing it consistently, you're going to get people who instantly sign up for those. But if you want if you need like instant customers, you guys, get 15 to 20 people to post for you. You know, do more if you're needing that more volume. And that's just what it comes down to. The things that we do, it works, right? The tasks that we do, it works. If we want more, if you're increasing your volume, if you want more, you just have to do more of that. So maybe go live more, maybe post about the products more, you know, reach out to more people, have more people post for you, that kind of thing. And I think the biggest thing is just, again, it comes down to prayer. You know, it really comes down to we can have our goal, all that we want, but if we put God in front of that, if we have him lead the way, and he is the one to make that goal happen with our work and our preparation, it's going to happen, you guys. But we have to let faith kind of lead the way. We have to let the Lord lead the way in this, and just say like, you know what, I'm going to work as hard as I can, do everything that I possibly can. But at the end of the day, it's going to be up to the Lord, whether, you know, it's your time, whether it's you're pushing hard enough, doing all the things that we need to do. But we can't ask for a promotion if we're not preparing for it. Okay, so we can't ask for this ruby to happen, this emerald to happen, diamond or double or triple to happen or above to happen if we're not willing to put the preparation and the work behind it.
Oh, this is gold, you guys. I think the reason why my mind is sitting here blown is because I almost just found myself, I'm just going to be super transparent. When she was first starting to talk about what she did to bring in the volume, I honestly, for 1 second, was like, she's going to tell me something that I've never heard here. Like, she's going to give me almost like that secret sauce, like, right, we're going to just go in this. But what she said was all things that we already know, and good, and I mean that in a good way, because all that we need to do is do it, right? We have to do it. I personally will find myself being like, okay, I get overwhelmed if I don't like write it down and know exactly what I need to have going on, especially during promotion months, because I feel like a lot of the times we have so many hours in a day, right? And sometimes when we hear, okay, reach out to customers and get up more hosted posts and, you know, reach out to everybody we've ever talked to, we don't know where to start. So we end up not doing it, right? Drop a 1 if you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, because we know all the tips that we're supposed to be doing, but sometimes it's starting it or what's the first task that we should be doing, right? Another one, just really quick, because I've already talked to my team about this, but I want to make sure that this like really gets through everybody's head. The easiest volume that you can bring in, literally the easiest volume, is going through your credit card declines. If you have not gone through your credit card declines, you're sitting on a bunch of money and a bunch of volume that has just not gone through because you didn't go through that. You guys, it takes 10 minutes of your time to literally go through and look at that. And you know what? If you're afraid that maybe your team isn't doing it, go through it yourself, write down the names and reach out to those enrollers or get them on a Zoom and say, let's all get on a Zoom right now and go through and talk to these credit card declines and make sure that we can get those in, right? It's doing the actual things. Everything that she said, you are 100% capable of doing it, but we have to do it. We have to actually put in the work. So pick a task right as soon as we get off of this, pick a task, one that she just said, and go get it done. And then make a list for tomorrow, right? Because we're going to be intentional tonight when we go to bed so that when we wake up in the morning, we already have that set. What are we going to do? Maybe it's going to be reaching out to our customers, or maybe you're going to get up your 10 hosted posts, then reach out to your customers, right? Whatever it may be, make sure that you have a plan in place, because if you don't have that plan, you'll find yourself being like strung out and not knowing where you're supposed to start, because that's something that I personally struggle with, is like where I know what to do. It just needs to happen. And there was no secret sauce. It was all stuff that you know, and that inspires me. That inspires me because it's things that we are already capable of doing. We just have to put that actual work in. And then the best tip that she had was the prayer. You guys, I will be so honest with you and tell you that my self-development and my prayer is the first to go sometimes. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're pushing for such a big promotion and you're running and you see the numbers and you know what you need, it's almost as if you go into like this massive work mode of like, I gotta get it all done and I'm not gonna stop until I get there. But at the same time, I don't have time to fill my cup, or I don't have time to sit down and pray. It's the opposite. You have to make time to sit down and pray. You have to make time to fill your cup, or the orders won't come through. You guys have heard, like, at the end of every month, I know we're like up on time, but really quickly, at the end of the month, when you hear that people have like these massive things happen, like Amanda just told you, she brought in 60,000 in volume with her team in 4 days, you guys. Like that is a God-sized mountain that was moved, okay? That was not just Amanda's team. That was God saying, we're gonna bless this work, because what they were doing was putting him first. What they were doing was making sure that their mindset was correct before they actually put in that work. And I think that just goes so far, because so many times we just go balls to the wall, but we don't remember that he's the one who needs to bless it. So you can do all the things, but if you're not asking him to bless it, then it's not going to be your time. So I am so pumped. Thank you so much, Amanda, for doing this for our team. I think that you guys drop in the chats. What was your aha moment? Like, are you loving this or what? It was just exactly what I needed to. And I'm just so thankful that you got on with us tonight. I know it was Friday night. I think that's why we didn't have as many people on, but we appreciate it so much that you took the time.
Thanks for having me so much. Sorry I had to change it from Wednesday.
Oh, no, no, no. It's totally fine. I was like, I didn't realize that it was Friday. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
that's probably why. But I recorded it and everybody's going to love this. This was like, and the people that are here are the people that are running. The people that are here right now are the people that are running for this promotion. And they're all saying momentum is self-made. I'm so grateful for this. Like, they just love this so much. So thank you so much again.
thanks for having me, guys. Bye
Of
now.
course. See you later.